Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Press Association of Jamaica alarmed at the media being barred from high-profile murder trial. JPS to investigate electrocution of a construction worker in Manchester. And later in sports, West Indies and host Australia locked in keen battle after 2 days of second and final test. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shane Masters, and here are the details. There is a growing objection to the press being barred from yesterday's court hearing for former Member of Parliament Julian Silvera in the murder of his wife. The presiding judge gave no explanation except for the use of discretion. But in this high-profile case, that decision is being viewed as a threat to the concept of open justice in Jamaica. The decision of presiding judge Justice Vinette Graham Allen to bar members of the media and the public from observing proceedings in the Julian Silvera murder case is not going down well with some quarters of a society, chief among them the media. In a release this morning, the Press Association of Jamaica PAJ describes the decision by the presiding judge as alarming. It has therefore called for an immediate reversal of the decision unless there is a compelling explanation and justification. The release further states that if there is justification, the public must be informed what those compelling reasons are. The PAJ says it is critical that this case be open to public scrutiny to help maintain confidence in the justice system in general and in the conduct of this case in particular. It notes that this is a high-profile murder case involving a former member of Parliament who is therefore a politically connected individual. The Press Association maintains that no reason has been given justifying that this case should be an exception to the open justice principle. It has therefore called for the decision to be carefully scrutinized by the media and the public. In the meantime, Director of Public Prosecution Paula Llewellyn says while she may not agree with the decision taken by the presiding judge to bar the media from the first court appearance of murder-accused Julian Silvera, she respects the decision.
She made an explanation that at this time she did not believe that she will allow this. It is for the public to judge and members of the media. Speaking for myself, I will only say in a very diplomatic way that I thought it was just a little unfortunate, but the judge must have some good reason why she preferred to take this route. Perhaps when the matter returns to court in early February, she may have a change of heart.
A clarion call, that's our Member of Parliament for St. Andrews Southwestern, Angela Brown-Burke, described the travel advisory issued by the U.S. government, urging its citizens to reconsider travel to Jamaica due to crime and medical services. Dr. Brown-Burke says while the various challenges of the country are already known, the highlight from the U.S. is a wake-up call.
To actually see that in a statement in that travel advisor coming from the US kind of punches you in the gut a little bit, because yes, you know it is bad, yes, you want to see change, but to see a country like the US, where we depend on in terms of tourist dollars and tourists coming here, putting that out really just sends that kind of a shock to us to say, listen, although some people ignoring you about it, it is real.
Now, Dr. Brown-Burke, who is also the opposition spokesman on foreign affairs, says the inclusion of the healthcare system in the advisory should urge the government to do more to fix the sector.
People have been talking about the conditions in our hospitals, people on the floor, people in chairs, you know, just the healthcare professionals almost being overworked just based on the volume, lack of resources and so on. And to see it at a point where the U.S. government in the advisory would make mention of it is something that should be a wake-up call to all of us.
As the political campaign gets more intense ahead of the local government elections, opposition councillors in St. Anne say there's a long list of reasons they should take control of the municipal corporation. Some were highlighted at a PNP conference last evening in the parish. Councillor for the Beechertown Division in St. Anne, Ian Bell, at a divisional conference in Claremont Thursday night. He says Jamaicans are tired of the government and the time has come for a change in leadership, especially in the St. Anne Municipal Corporation. Mr. Bell says there are too many things happening in the corporation which answers cannot be garnered for. One such is the issues relating to light posts at the Buckfield playing field in Otreyas. The most recent, the allocation of funds for roadworks under the SGR program. In an interview with TVJ News earlier this week, Mr. Bell said that based on his investigations, JLP councillors were receiving upwards of $2 to $3 million, while PNP councillors were receiving a mere $1 million to carry out road repairs in their respective divisions. Now, efforts to get a comment from the chairman of the corporation, Cindy Stewart, were futile. On the political platform, Mr. Bell did not mince words.
They said they have no comments to the allegations that I make. Comrades, if what I say was lie, then I have to comment. They can't comment because they don't know what to say. Because anyhow they open their mouth to say something, I'm more lie than they'll tell. And them know something they go fire back the truth from them.
Meanwhile, councillor candidate for the Claremont division in the parish, Kadian Harty, is hoping to keep the division in the fold of the PNP whenever the local government elections are called.
They will not take the lead because when the local government election is called next week, because it can't go further than next week, the Claremont division will be one of the first divisions to be declared in the come of the People's National Council. Time come for us to elevate our discussions from catchment tanks and trucking of water to water in your pipe.
There are also speculations as to why the elections have not been called as yet.
I have never seen in my umpteen years any government in power can call election. Comrades, something wrong. I said something wrong. And you what happened to the green clerks?
Opposition spokesman on education Damian Crawford is calling for greater use of technology in the education sector. Speaking with TVJ News recently, Mr. Crawford suggested that this is critical if students' grades are to improve. He pointed to key subject areas like mathematics, languages, and science.
Artificial intelligence, for example, can actually lead to developing what they call that again, the lesson plans. Artificial intelligence can develop lesson plans if we have consistent testing and if we have consistent centralized testing. So therefore it will be able to develop lesson plans at the class base, almost at the individual base, if we do the consistent testing.
He says the inverted classroom approach will also help low-performing students.
I think that can be helpful for mathematics as well, because the inverse classroom allows for master teachers to teach on video, students to consume that at home, and then the class is reserved for practice, for homework, for practice. So instead of homework, classwork is the central theme, and instead of class learning, home learning is the central theme. That's important because very few of our children have any assistance at home to assist in understanding whatever they don't understand in their homework session. And so watching the video and then getting to ask the necessary questions is going to be a game changer.
And it's time for a break here on the Midday News, but stay with us, more stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. A large section of the Port Royal Early Childhood Institution was damaged by a fire at the facility last night. It's still unclear what caused the blaze. When our news team visited the location last night, firefighters had completed cooling down operations. At least 2 classrooms and office, as well as furniture and appliances, were destroyed by the blaze.
Smoke, I was sitting down over there, over my cousin's house, and I see the big smoke, and I run go call the girl and tell her, I say, fire! And she called the fire truck, and the fire truck come and out it down.
Parent Teacher Association President Eric Powell says the institution is now in need of urgent support.
Based on what I am seeing right now, it's devastating. Don't know what we'll be doing. Have to be calling on the authorities. For sure, right now, we definitely need the help because the school is a vital role. My daughter is really picking up and excelling very well. I see the school as a landmark because it has been around for a long time.
The Jamaica Public Service JPS says it will be working with the police and other relevant authorities to investigate the electrocution of a construction worker on Wildman Street in Christiana, Manchester early Thursday morning. 46-year-old Garfield McLean was reportedly on his way to work when he came into contact with a fallen high-tension wire about 5 in the morning. Now, residents say they had been complaining to the JPS about the state of the wires in the area, but no one responded. They say they've had to tie bottles and a piece of building block onto some of the wires in the past to keep them from swaying and touching each other when it's windy.
After 11 last night, the wire is kissing together, bare fire and blue flames. Car catch a fire and all type of things happen. And no JPS not show up all now until 5 o'clock this morning, the man dead on the wire.
I was dropping off some patrons last night about 1 o'clock, thereabout. Actually, when I saw the wire, I thought it was cable wire, because I expect it would be high tension wire in the middle of the road, drop down like that. So, proceed, and you can see the damages for my car right now. Fire actually catch the car.
They show TVJ News a rusty piece of metal which supported the wire on the pole that broke, pulling down the wire onto the roadway. Residents say they've been without electricity since. Mayor of Morant Bay, Hubert Williams, is calling for more consideration to be given to family members of persons in hospital who are on their deathbed. At the recent St. Thomas Municipal Corporation meeting, Mr. Williams says families are distressed not being able to see their loved ones.
You see, when we have a hospital, where is a poor hospital, we have to allow family members to go to see people. Because we don't have enough nurses and so to take care of people.
Now, Medical Officer of Health for the parish, Dr. Doyen Smith, explained why restrictions were in place.
These are the COVID protocols which were now relaxing out of those protocols. And as you can see, you mentioned the 2 hours, 2 different sections. It had been just one visiting hour. It's now 2 sections that you have visiting. You have visiting in the morning and in the afternoon. So we're transitioning out to the COVID protocols. And the 1 person per day, per visit hour, is a residue of that COVID protocol, as you mentioned. So we're transitioning out of that.
He added that more allowance is being given to family members to visit.
I have seen where allowances have been made already for that kind of a situation, where different relatives have been allowed to go, especially when you recognize as a doctor that the person is in a state of transition to death. And I've seen it done. So I don't think we should make a total statement to say the hospital has demonstrated no such kindness. And again, it's a good thing that we're transitioning out of this protocol because the COVID numbers are basically 0. 3 cases at this point in time.
And it's now time for the Business Minute. The framework for facilitating green bonds is expected to be ready by June this year. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark at the JC's 19th Regional and Investments Conference on Wednesday stated that trading in green and blue bonds will be done on the stock market. Dr. Marlene Street Forrest is the Managing Director of the JSE.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange is working with the government, with IDB, in respect to building out the framework for these bonds. There has to be a framework, a requirement. How do you rate a bond, a green bond? You know, what is the taxonomy in relation to this? How do you continue to sustain so that you don't have greenwashing and all of that?
Green bonds are debt instruments which are issued for the exclusive purpose of providing funding to support environmentally friendly climate-related projects. Further afield, the U.S. economy grew at an impressive pace in the fourth quarter of 2023. Gross domestic product GDP increased at a 3.3% rate from October through December. That is still down from the nearly 5% rate for the July to September quarter. And that's it for the Business Minute. Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the United Nations Special Representative to Haiti has warned that the crisis in the French-speaking Caribbean country has reached a critical point. UN Secretary Council Maria Isabel Salvador says she cannot overstress the severity of the situation in Haiti. She says more than 8,400 people were victims of gang violence in Haiti last year, including killings, injuries, and kidnappings, a 122% increase over 2022. Salvador, however, noted that the Haitian government and the international community have stepped up support to the Haitian National Police over the past few months. On the international scene, Alabama has executed convicted murderer Kenneth Eugene Smith with nitrogen gas, the first time the method of capital punishment has been used globally. The United Nations has condemned the act as cruel, but Alabama said the process had been carried out humanely. Smith was convicted in 1989 for murdering a preacher's wife, Elizabeth Sennett, in a killing for her. And the Kenyan High Court has blocked the government from deploying police officers to fight gangs in Haiti. The judge argued that the deployment would be illegal as the National Security Council lacks the legal authority to send police outside Kenya. He added that the council can only deploy armed forces for peacekeeping missions such as Haiti. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Kerry-Ann Simpson.
And we head to a quick break. When we come back, Jeremy Brown will have your midday sports report.